Well, we're pretty sure here that the death toll will be going up, maybe quite considerably. It now stands at 20 altogether, 17 deaths reported in the Abaco Island in the far north of the Bahamas, and then 3 others in Grand Bahama. Now, the reason maybe why there are just those 3 deaths reported in Grand Bahama is because that is one island to which the security forces and some of the aid groups have not been able to really arrive as much as they might have wanted to. So the fear is that there will be more dead bodies found there. That is the fear right now. As you can see here, luckily the weather is good now. We've got the blue skies returning here in Nassau, but also in the Abaco and Grand Bahama Islands. Hurricane Dorian has now well and truly gone, but after leaving that devastating mark, it after all did stall over those 2 islands to the north of the Bahamas for a full day and a half, over 70 centimeters of rain, wreaking all that havoc that you've seen now from those aerial images. It truly is a trail of destruction that was left by Hurricane Dorian. Very little infrastructure left right now, and for those people who are on the island and who are not being evacuated right now, because that is a very difficult logistical task, well, they need the absolute basics. Housing is not available right now, running water is not available, electricity is not available either, and they also need food and medicine. This is a classic, if you will, disaster scenario. The people who are there on the Abacos and Grand Bahama Islands, they need all the basics right now.
And Philip, just gives us an idea of the sheer scale of the relief operation that's required there.
Yeah, and the relief operation that's required is enormous. That doesn't necessarily mean that what is happening right now is that big, because this is a massive logistical challenge. You just heard in the report, the United Nations says that 70,000 people on Abaco and Grand Bahama are in need of immediate humanitarian aid. Now, if that humanitarian aid is there right now is a different question, because here are the logistical difficulties. There are essentially 3 ways of getting to those 2 islands right now. One is by boat, or rather by ship, because military ships have been able to dock in one single port that is still functioning in those 2 islands together. For example, the British Navy was able to dock a ship there, bringing food, warm meals as well. Then the other possibility of getting there is by plane. Problem is, all of those airports, you've seen those aerial images, they were certainly unusable for the last few days. We are hearing that one single airport in the south, a relatively long far away from the most affected areas, can now be used, but only to a limited degree. The third option of getting there is by helicopter. Some of the aid groups are managing to get in by helicopter. The US Coast Guard, for example, is using those helicopters to evacuate people to here, to the capital Nassau, and some other people to the likes of maybe one single functioning hospital in that immediate area. This is a big logistical challenge. These 2 islands are essentially cut off from the rest of the world right now.